All right, we've got The Dark Night of the Soul by St. John of the Cross. And straight up, when you read this book, prepare for extreme depth. This book is so deep. And it's basically the vibe. I'll be straight up. I'm coming out of my Dark Night of the Soul right now. And basically what the Dark Night of the Soul is, it's sort of like a spiritual, almost like a spiritual death that you go through on your spiritual journey, where just you go through this period where just like everything falls apart, nothing makes any sense. You just feel like God has abandoned you, that like everything you've ever believed about anything, your entire reality falls apart. And it falls apart, it's part of the path. It's part of the path of what he calls purification, the purification of your soul. And in order to sort of come into who you are, come into who you were meant to be, who God has called you to be, you first must basically completely die to yourself. And when you die to yourself, it's not like, oh, yes, thank you. No, it's like it's a process where, like, straight up, dude, you come to the edge. You come to the edge. But on the other side of this is a new life that you could have never fathomed ever before that. And I want to read a couple quotes. So one, if you do not learn to deny yourself, you can make no progress in perfection. And that's what you learn when this happens. You learn how to, I've heard so much throughout my life, dying to yourself daily, denying yourself. I've heard about that, in church and, reading the Bible and reading various spiritual texts, you hear about that. When you are going through the dark night of the soul, you are forced into a state where you have no choice but to deny yourself. And like he says, without doing that, you make no progress in perfection. So this is the pathway. And in tribulation, immediately draw near to God with confidence, and you will receive strength, enlightenment, and instruction. And that's part of the thing that I found when I reflect back on like literally like the lowest moments of my dark night of the soul, where I was just, okay, dude, everything's a lie. I'm ready to end it, straight up. And I reflect back on those moments, and straight up, those moments are the moments where I'm praying more. I'm like trying to draw near to God, and I just feel like He's just so far away. I reflect back on those moments now, and I'm like, holy, like He was right there. So, and that's the thing. You want to go closer to God, you got to go through hard times, and the hard times draw you near to God. They draw God near to you, and you're drawing God nearer to you. So definitely, if you're going through if you're at the lowest point in your life, you're at rock bottom, definitely recommend this book. This book will help you to understand what it is you're going through, and it'll help you to trust that you will come out the other side a completely different person. And or maybe you're someone who you've gone through a hard time, but you've never been able to make sense out of it. Highly recommend this book.